like the country that I live in. A lot of right-hand drive car. So, hello ladies and gents. Today we are talking about the lore of my own country. The fictional country where it was discovered by the Woko tribes, the Woko pirates in the Edo period of Japan. Why, you might ask? Interesting question. Also, by the way, currently we are driving this 1994. No, I don't think this is 1994. 1994 is a K plate. This one is 1993. Okay, this one is a 1993 Ibishu Diana Type LS. But there's a secret underneath. This one has a much heavier clutch, I guess. Just warming up the engine like usual. But as you can see, it's not really great. It's not that bad. It's just a normal car. This is one of the Bishu I would drive, unironically, but there's supposed to be one of the larger Ibishu cars. Why the fuck was that noise? Anyway. No. Okay. Someone being a bloody idiot out there. I spoke too soon. The Himurajima traffic is decent. No, it's not. As you can see, it's just hell. I can't believe I say this, but as you can see, yeah, there's an Ibishu saloon, but that one is a full size. We like a mid-size saloon, executive one to be exact. The Pessima is not really great, feels cheap. This one is also had that sense too, but yeah, it's not the end of the world. Also, yeah, back on the topic. As you can see, yeah, Himurajima, this is discovered during the Edo period, which is around 1100. Probably at the middle of 1100. The right-hand drive, what the fuck again? Also, the founder is Himura himself, Mr. Himura. He's actually from one of the Ronin, because his lord had been killed. Probably due to assassination. We will never know. This is pain in the ass to drive a manual. This is why it's pain in the ass to drive a manual in. Okay. This is the second accident I witnessed. Alright. Go back to the topic of, I don't know, the island lore. We're gonna park here. Also, by the way, this map is not the Himurajima map. This is actually just Japanese island map made by someone who wants to have the Japanese style map of the Fujigoku. This is what it looks like. It's more of a Honda K20 engine instead of, you know, of a Nissan SR20. Yeah. Anyway, I keep lost track on how the lore of my own country, my own fictional country. That's the biggest problem that I have here in this today. Oh yeah, the lore. Alright. As you can see, the island is around three and a quarter, 3/4 of the size of landmass of Sarawak, the state of Sarawak, which is a part of Malaysia, one of the largest states in Malaysia. When that island was discovered, that landmass, it was mostly inhabited by Austronesian people that also migrated from the island of Taiwan, and mostly are the Sarawakian, the Borneo tribes in the Borneo Island that found in Brunei, Malaysia, and Indonesia. The East Malaysia, the Brunei, as you can see. So that's why some of the tribes speaks Brawan, some Iban, some they have some sort of like mix of Kenya over there, Klabit. Those are the language that you found, and even some of the Taiwanese Polynesian language. Not sure it's called Austronesian, not Polynesian. Sorry, because the country that I speaks, the Sarawakian one, is actually Malayo-Polynesian, the North Borneo one, the North Sarawak, something like that. Also, that during this, it was settled by the Woko as a safeguard from the more pirates in the future. It's just settlements to, as most of the time they live in an agricultural lifestyle, very laid back. Let's check the boot. And large enough to fit probably, I don't know, grocery items, probably shopping bags if you go on a date with this car. I don't know. As you can see, let's take a walk before we drive again. I just picked the blue cans. As you can see, this map is basically, it's like for the map for making, I don't know, automated food, I guess. This is for the map for very simplified 2D map. No need to be a lot of detailed. And yes, Himurajima do have European imports, but 75% are from Japanese cars, like that's Toyota Corolla or something. That's a Corona EXIV, I guess, not Corona ED. That's one has a V6, the Corvette. Okay, you blithering idiot. What a blithering idiot. We can't have nice shit here. Alright. Let's continue the tour. Alright. When was the British came into Himurajima? It was during the time where they transport prisoner to Australia. Maybe after they discovered, I think after they discovered Australia, I guess. But Himurajima is discovered between, the first ever recorded is around like 1799, I think. But so during the time, because the island is also become a settlement for the British explorers and soldiers and merchants. Usually they're merchants. They had a war and then they conquered. Well, that's not really. the British explorer thought it would be good idea to hire the Japanese pirates, the Japanese, Chinese, and Korean pirates, and even some Mongols as privateers. So that's how Himurajima turned from, I don't know, the settlements of the pirates to transitioning to a country administered by the British colony. It's just a settlement anyway. It's not that big of a deal. So, well, oh Christ, bloody idiot in a fucking ATK. That's what you get for buying an ATK. You drive like a fucking knob over here. It's like a BMW drive in real life. Also, by the way, yeah, this is the X90 Chaser. Oi! Oi! What the fuck are you doing, bruv? Are you drunk? That's the one con about Himurajima. They're not really enforce a law regarding drunk driving, unlike Japan, because it's administered by the British. British are known for alcoholism. So yeah. Yeah, I'm not drinking because beer is bitter anyway. I mean, the only alcoholic drink I would drink once. I only drink something like shandy and something, and probably apple cider. The hot apple cider for you Americans, but for the rest of it, yeah, just apple cider, bruv. Can't believe I just. Also, this is just one of a small town. Let's take a break over here. This one is a housing area. Interesting. This is supposed to be a housing area. A lot of housing, but where the fuck you park a car? Oh, never mind. Alright. Another... Again. I can't catch a break. Christ. We can't catch a break on people just ramming each other on this. You see, before the revamp of this episode, Diana, the exhaust tip was the exhaust pipe, the exhaust area exit on the left side of the engine. But now it's exited from the right side because other emission engines are like that. So they make do with it. They redesigned it and do it. I can't catch a break of every traffic car just being a blithering idiot. Anyway. Oh. Maybe I will catch a train later. Maybe go to the train station and catch a train to... What a blithering idiot, bruv. And this is what it looks like. Okay. Train station is inaccessible, which is a massive L on this train, I guess. I don't know if it's accessible over there. No, it's the... Yeah. Also, Himurajima do have train. That's a nice sound. So another details, kind of cool. I mean, whoever made this really add the details of the train station over here. Why the fuck I want to use a train when I have a bloody car over here? Oh yeah, idiots. blithering idiots. So why the fuck I park like this? This is horrible, man. Never mind, I drive like a fucking cunt. Oh Christ. What on earth happened here? Anyway. Midori doesn't nakadesu. Nope, I'm not gonna speak Japanese. I can't speak one, and yeah. Even as a resident of Himurajima, I would not speak Japanese. Just kidding, I will learn some of it. Just to communicate, because also population-wise, 50% of the population actually is Asian. Out of 50 East Asians, like more than 50% are Japanese. But back then it's probably around, I don't know, 30%, while 40% are Chinese. Majority out there came from the British colony of Hong Kong and Taiwan. That's why there's like a native tribe that speak Taiwan. What the fuck was this? Yeah. Speaking of the lore of the country, I'm gonna escape. So by the way, this engine rev up to 9,000 RPM, but most of the power band was actually... Oh god. So the pursue... What are the cars that pursue me? Is that a fucking... I don't know. Fucking hell, I need to escape from this hell. Oh, I forgot, the police are in here. Now they dent my fucking quarter panel. You know how rare is this bloody car? Also, whoever made... Just because you're fucking, I don't know, police officer does not mean you can run over people with a... Also, what the fuck, a gold diadem? Okay, now. You know what, I need to fix this car real quick. See this? One thing about this car that's actually... So... This car is designed for everyone who wants to go on a date kind of ordeal. Right? Oh. I don't know what I'm talking about. So speaking of which, yeah. This car do have front right seat will be a race seat base. This will be based on, you know, Takumi's like A86. It's kind of weird to have a dash, also manual shifter. I mean, cool, but nah. No wonder why it's like not classical. Now that's something. Now this is something that I would go behind. Dashboard accessory, police interior equipment. Alright. Back on the topic of like the lore of my country. Okay, but you know, I keep lost track on how many countries that after I've been fixing this car for just, you know, just to run away from the coppers. So I give it some love it deserves. Alright. So, as you can see, this is a right-hand drive. I don't know. That's the thing about this car. It's quite sporty and very much. I don't know. I always envision how I would drive this like a bloody maniac. Yeah, it's alright. It's not like I'm gonna cause a lot of tire wear on this beast. Why the fuck I say this a beast? This is just a bloody coupe, sports coupe with like, I don't know. Probably have no, it's just a small coupe. I don't know what I'm talking about, so yeah, just take it in a grain of salt. I mean, there's a GTZ variant that I actually driven back in the Nürburgring. I clock in 8 minutes on that. Yeah, it's a rolling start anyway. What the fuck? I'm gonna shut off the engine each time. So I'm just gonna sit down here just so the police won't pursue me. Anyway, during the British came in, there are probably administered it just for. As for now, they try to discover if there have oils in like under Royal Dutch Shell. There's much, but probably still 90% undiscovered at that time. So the Japan tries to invade that land. But there's one of a future mistake. People in Himurajima just will protect their land no matter what it gets. That's why after the news about the Great War broke out in Europe, the Himurajima government like buying guns from any other country they could get. Like, but most of the time they only buy from United States of America because there is like a Arisakas, but then again, most of the time it's American guns that the Arisakas are. Arisaka and Liamphil are always the guns in the country, like the early, like Great War era, early 1910s. Most of the time, the stock, economically, it was very nice. Life is good in Himurajima. Agriculture, they could create sufficient food. Most of the time the agriculture are just for rubber tree, which they don't do rubber tree. They, I think, probably just do, I don't know. They're probably just farming, I don't know, food. Arable land is good for agriculture, but most of the time they're just farming food. So mostly rice fields. And yes, this will be my another long video that I will ramble about while complaining about traffics and every issues of BeamNG, while trying to explain the history, the lore of the Himurajima. I'm not sure if I'm gonna do another one because maybe in the future I might be too busy that I don't have time to make that one. So yeah. So probably at the end of the Edo. So week. Oh, I forgot again. Alright. Take in 3. Take in 3, 2, 1. Alright. Himurajima was woke up. Okay, Himurajima was Woko. That's the only like first like earlier one, but it's actually from Tsushima. A lot of them are the Woko. So Himura is one of the samurai that lost his lord during the invasion of the Woko. So after that he become Ronin, which is finding the killer until only to get exiled. So out of Japan. It's probably in the region of like probably around Edo, Kyoto. He was in Kyoto. Probably live until like live at the average lifespan of Japanese during the Edo period, probably around 50 years old, 50 to 60, probably 60 years more. He died at 60 years old. Don't know the age, don't know the year. His birth is also unknown. So that's another thing. So it's probably around 16. Usually it's around 15th century. Discovered the island Himurajima. But what is up before the Woko discovered it? Usually migration. Migration is like one of the reasons why. It's a migration during the Pangea time. But usually the tribes will travel by boats and that's it. They travel by boats and raft. A lot of them probably like that. Boats and raft. Especially the native, from the Austronesian natives in Himura. So after that, probably like 20,000 years ago, it's followed the path of how these people migrate. That's it, the Austronesian migration. Probably from Australia, probably from Malay archipelago. It's a bit south of Taiwan, but in far east, like it have the same latitude as Japan, but longitude is a bit south, a bit lower than Taiwan. but a bit far up north than the Philippines. It's like 92,000 square kilometers of land mass. And the coastal line, there are only 5 regions. The northwest, the southwest, the center. Shire is located between the northwest and the southwest region of Himurajima. It's called the center. It includes the mountain, but the highest point is actually located in Jeritan, part of Himurajima. Jeritan is one of the port city. There are the port city where a lot of vehicles imported from Japan. Shire is just one of the large division. That's become a capital as soon as the British came in power to earn the colony, while hiring these family of a Japanese, Chinese, and Korean and Mongols as a privateers. Because back then the only people who allowed to trade with the Japanese were Dutch. But after that, during the British administration over there, the British won the train company who built the railway tracks in Japan was made by the Brits, so that's why one of the reason. So trains were built here also by the British. That's why Himurajima is a left-hand traffic, right-hand drive vehicle, because it's also dated during the Romans. Alright, carry on for the continuing of the lore of this country. So what is it? Oh, I forgot this is a left-hand traffic. I keep forgetting that I actually drive on the left side of the road, so just like Japan. Did I use third gear on this? Jesus Christ. Alright. Continue on. So, left-hand traffic, right drive, that's a British thing. British and Japanese thing. The Japanese won during the samurai era, right? That's another factor, and another factor too is British. Also not just the British, but also the Meiji era. Every rickshaw must turn left, just face to the left when carrying passengers. Rickshaw driver was like this, facing to the left. So yeah. That's why sometimes I rarely drive at full potential, you know. This looks like a fucking what the fuck is this? Is this a museum or a fucking? I keep damaging the synchronizer on this thing. This one looks like a park, right? Parking lot. Oh well. We don't know. This looks like a nice house. This one looks like a garage, probably. looks like a swimming pool. I'm not gonna swim inside. It's like a trespass. Oh Christ. Sumase now, G-san. What the fuck? So yeah, as you can see, the building here is nice. This house here is nice. It's a rich man's house. Kind of weird that's for fucking over this. Probably a tourist attraction. So this is like weird ass skyscraper. This is the map. Not really attractive. Alright. When the British came into power in the, like returned to power in theory, but actually it was the Japanese tries to invade but fail, tries to invade, fail. So like Himurajima never been failed. They just always been resistance after resistance after resistance with all the American guns and artilleries. So it's just pointless. So the Japanese gave up in 1943 because losing too many manpower while fighting. Casualties in the local Himurajiman resistance fighting group and soldiers. Probably a lot, but we have to remember the Japanese suffer, the Imperial Japanese suffer a lot of casualties. There's one of the battleship, HMS Himurajima. That's the name after that's the current like Navy fleet for the Royal Himurajima Navy. One of the fleet aircraft carrier named after the country. Alright, so yeah. Master Shine, name after the explorer, the found Lord Miles. Walkwin, which is a name of the British, but then again, it's actually a reference to Lord Miles, a madlad who travels to Afghanistan multiple times and end up setting business and create YouTube videos and even promote tourism for the recently like free nation of Afghanistan under the it's actually not really Taliban anymore, it's now a Pashtun. Yeah, now Pashtun. The Pashtun tribe is the, people say it's dangerous, but nah, it's actually safer because no more bombings, just people fight, just trying to rebuild the economy, right? But still defending from ISIS. Yeah. So after the Japanese resistance, while British came in power, they tried to that's the thing about the British. They give empty promises, right? So they just outsmart them. The British can do, but they still need to hire the locals because to prevent more, what was it again? Resistance again? Like they need to avoid. Prevent resistance like in Himurajima, they avoid. To avoid resistance like what happened in Himurajima, they do everything just to please the locals. So yeah, they train every locals to how to run the country, how this Westminster like parliament work is the one that the British taught us everything. So that's how during the Independence Day of 22nd of July 1975 Himurajima gained full independence from the British power, while the British people who while the British soldiers would leave, well, but some of them remains and changed citizenship to Himurajima's citizenship. Well, the main British soldier that joined them, and after that, in 1990s, Himurajima received an influx of British people moved into Himurajima because due to like administration in that country. Country change and a lot of influx of that's why it makes up like 20% of people in Himurajima. The residents over there, while they got permit of living there, the province they will learn Japanese, correct? Well, yes, sort of. Mostly learn Japanese, but only the few that just speak English. Other than that, after 1975, 1980s, also the boom of the economy. So, but in 1992, after the asset of the Japanese pop, a lot of influx of Japanese people moved there, so increasing back to from like 200,000 emerging people to boosting to what the fuck? What a blithering idiot. So yeah, that's how it is. The bubble was burst and the country is Japan is in dire needs of like something. Until 2005 there's another influx, the second influx, but alongside with a lot of Hong Kongers are move out of also entering. Oh, you know, speaking of which, the 20% white people in 20% white people in like 20% population are actually, there's also some of the population was actually not from an English speaking country. Some of them are actually from Russia. which is why there's like a Russian people, Russian minorities in Himurajima. And where the hell they come from? None of the part of Himurajima makes sense for to station a lot of Russian people. That's where you're right. And then there's Hong Kong. There's a lot of Russian people that against the communism back in the 1920s escaped Russia to China, and then that's the same people who have flee the China to Hong Kong and Taiwan, and that's Hong Kong is under threat of that. That's why because they think Hong Kong is not safe from further Chinese invasion. That's why they moved to Himurajima. Most of the Russians live in Malson-Shires and Cheriton. So, what was the mix-up? The Malson-Shires is by far the most diverse because it's have Russian, Chinese, usually for Chinese for Hong Kong and Taiwan, Japanese, even some for Okinawa, and even the mainland Ryukyu, Honshu Island is over for Tokyo, and some even from Kumamoto. Korean, a lot of them are flee from Korean War, emigrated to Himurajima too, so even those are another influx. And also Malaysian people, Serakian Malaysians who escaped the Serakian communist insurgencies in the 60s until late 80s. So that's what makes up the population of Himurajima. Demographics: how many male, how many women? 50-50 at least. Oh, that's what you thought, right? 1.5 women per one guy. Well, not really. So I'm not sure. Probably 50-50. That's like probably 49-51. That's like the demographics, because one, majority of the male were actually born from the Chinese due to Confucianism and such. Most of the females, because some of them prefer daughters, and especially the Koreans and the Japanese, and even the whites too. So that's the demographic wise. How about democracy? The first election after 22nd of July was held in 19, just 1 year. Nah, I just kidding. It's actually, yeah, because that's actually like 3 months before the independence. They vote for the independence. They actually, during the British administration, they learn how to vote, they learn how to do anything. That's all the political system wise. That's just constitutional monarchy, where the monarch is actually the UK one, while the prime minister is actually the first ever one is from Wales, then it's actually Japanese, then it's actually Malays, Serakian Malays, the Bumiputra. Yes, we call it Bumiputra. So that's what the third prime minister, the Bornean people from Borneo, and so the current one is actually I am the prime minister. Nah, just kidding. I'm not gonna be a prime minister of this fictional country. Like, who in the right mind? Asian looking guy with a whitest name possible, running a country, this fictional country that is a former colony with a Japanese speaking majorities. That's all the demographics. So, yes, traffic, left-hand traffic. Drive on the left side of the road, sit on the right, shifter on the left hand, steering wheel on the right hand, indicator on the right, wipers on the left. That's what it is. That's every car specification in Himurajima. Except it's a European and American. Those I have the exception. They use metric system, which is kilometers. They use meters, centimeters, liters, Celsius. That's the measurement system. And they use kilopascal and pressure, bar, I think. And they use the Himurajiman pound. Yes, they use Himurajiman pound. And they set the Himurajiman pound to be an equivalent of 0.01 gram of gold. They peg the currency on that value, 0.01 gram of gold, which is, if I do a quick research on Google, 1 milligram. 1 milligram to gram, which is shit. 1 milligram. So it's actually 10 gram of gold. 10 milligram of gold equivalent. So 10 milligram of gold is the currency. Value of that is the currency of 1 mg to gold. It's actually 1 gram, but we just divide by most of the gold prices. Market is closed. Hong Kong is fell off. The only one is actually New York. Shit. The only one rising is the COMEX one. So yeah, I'm not gonna buy gold currently because I don't have money. I don't know. Why the fuck I look at gold? So 1 gram, it's not 1 gram of gold, it's like 10 milligram of gold is actually equivalent to 1. The value of that is equal to 1 Himurajiman pound. It's not 1 gram. That's well, very too expensive. That makes so 10 milligram of gold. But that was happened after Kuwaiti dinar during the invasion of Kuwait in 1991. That's what happened. 1990 was the invasion of Kuwait. That's where Himurajima government decided to change the currency value to peg it at the equivalent of 10 milligram. Just 1 Himurajima pound is like 10 milligram of gold. Does Himurajima has gold mining industry? They have a gold trading. Yes, and they are taxed the gold that's actually imported. They sell it at a tax price. That's one of the reasons why it's very hot. Anyway, that's how the economy works of Himurajima. Now, car culture. So the car ownership You only can buy one car for every 5 years. Like one car, you cannot buy a car every time, unless if you have a organized company that there's a waiting list, like probably 10 years to wait for a car, for a brand new car. 5-year waiting list for a brand new car. That's the only thing. And this is by far my longest video ever done. And me rambling about Himurajima late at fucking night, probably at 3 in the fucking morning right now in Malaysia. But at Himurajima it's like 4 in the morning. How come? How come? Like, this is by far my longest video I've ever done. No cuts, just me talking about this country, this fiction nation, and I don't have any drawings of it yet. Probably in the future I will show you the drawings, but if you enjoy this content of me rambling while driving this car, even though I just only do a mini review. Also, this one's actually nice. I like this car, sort of. And if you want to see more, yeah, subscribe. I will post more as soon as I get more ideas, more concrete proof of concept, and even possibly a map. When I create a map in the future for BeamNG.drive, and also introduction of cars, the buildings, the stories in the future, probably more missions, and even character building. So if you want to see more, yes, stay tuned in the future. And as always, thank you for watching. See you next week probably, or see you when I'm upload this video. Have a nice day and have a good night.